Let's go. Hey, what's up, Denver? All right. The second most important thing to know in Denver this week is all of us Colorado Rockies fans are going to be Padres fans now. I mean, this might be the worst start of a season I have ever seen. And I've endured some tough Rocky seasons. Troy, I don't know if you've been watching the Rockies, but like, oh my gosh, they had a record 32 scoreless innings against the Dodgers. Something
Wow.
like 4 games they scored no points.
Um,
What?
are they? Oh, yeah, they have the worst record in the
Dude, they
Major League Baseball.
Chris Bryant's on injured reserve. I mean, they can't hit the ball. Why can't we get the torpedo bats? You
Oh,
know?
they're 2-8 in the last 10. You gotta, yeah, Padres. You gotta come over here.
We're hitting we're hitting the portal. The fans are hitting the trade portal
Yeah.
and we're going to the San Diego Padres. Why not? Somebody's got to compete with the Dodgers. No one's going to, but might as well be the Padres. I was like kind of this always happens, and we always talk about it. Is like all the sins are forgotten by January, February. You start to smell the grass again. You're like, oh man, it's almost baseball season. Well, maybe it's going to be different this year with the Rockies. Maybe you forget all the pain, you know. And then I was like this close from getting the MLB package.
Mm,
I think I was like $80 a month or whatever it was, $80 for the season. I was like, that's not that bad,
hmm
But now it's just, oh, it's brutal.
Well, Padres have the best record in the MLB,
Nice, man.
14-3. So,
Let's go.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the Rockies are on pace to like lose 120 games or something this season.
Oh man.
Wow.
So, and just knowing the Colorado Rockies, attendance won't waver at all. People go to Coors Field and they're like, "Oh, they play baseball here? I'm just here to party."
It's more of a side. The game's more of a side thought.
Yeah, the game is a side quest.
That's funny.
Like anyway, the most important thing to know in Denver is what we were talking about before, that like everything's AI right now. They're thinking outside of AI right now would be folly. I don't know the Denver connection to that at all, but there's a million connections. It's like right now we're in the middle of this AI gold rush where literally every single app and every single piece of software is going to need to be reimagined by AI,
Yeah.
like Troy, you were talking about your website you built, and how long did that take you to vibe code that?
So let's see. I was using a website called neocities.org, so I wanted the premise of my website to be really, really simple and to the point. So I was like, I don't need a fancy template. I don't need anything. I just need like the basic bare minimum. In the coding process, just to build the homepage, I spent like 3, 4 hours, maybe a little longer. The Lovable website, which is vibe coding, which is essentially ChatGPT specifically made for putting together a website or app. I maybe spent 3, 4 hours doing the entire website. That's like landing page, video integration, like a portfolio layout. It's just so cool. And one of the things that made it so cool as well is like the integration for mobile. Like it's so seamless. I mean, there's so many problems can happen with mobile
Yeah.
versus the web browser. Like just the smallest things you wouldn't think of. It made that entirely seamless, just so easy. Also, it's so easy to go back on and change anything with a prompt at any time and just click one click publish, website's updated live. Like
That's
there's no back end. Like it's
that's so sick. It's
yeah.
like
It's really fun. Now what I'm doing now too is like when I'm on Lovable, like playing around with kind of silly apps and whatever I'm building, I try to put like a build a tool a day as like a goal, but I think I'm easing it back, maybe a tool a week for a while just to get accustomed to using the tool and like seeing the parameters. But what
mhm.
I'll do is I'll pull up GPT and then hit the microphone. The memory with Chat GPT is getting much better and much longer. It still makes mistakes, it'll get things wrong that we've talked about in the past.
Mm.
But I think it's only gonna get better. So what I've been doing is basically just gossiping just gossiping with GPT. So it's giving context to what I'm doing. So what I'll do is I'll turn on GPT, turn on the microphone, and then I'll tell it like what I'm trying to do on Lovable. And I'll be like, okay, what I want to do is it's creating, it won't change the clock away from military time. I've asked it 4 different ways, and I want to make the button not big and red, but I want it to look 8-bit with like a cool box hex. And so I'm telling GPT, so in Lovable, it'll fix it. But if it doesn't, then I can just hit GPT and it'll have all this like ways that it'll help me prompt. And then so I can take the GPT prompt and put that into Lovable, and then it fixes it. The other thing I'm working on too is what they call prompt injection. So prompt injections is where you're trying to like intentionally like get past some of the guardrails within there, because that's another loop you'll get stuck in, is like, okay, I'm trying to get it to do this, but for whatever reason, either it's some kind of cultural bias that it's trying to protect, or it doesn't want to have like sexually explicit content, or it doesn't want to have anything negative. It's pretty tight, the guardrails. So prompt injecting is you're like trying to like figure out ways to ease the prompt a little bit. So kind of classically, the way people would get around some of the stuff is like, okay, I know that you can't do XYZ, but pretend you're a film director. And if you did, what would it look like?
Yeah.
You can like create scenarios. So, just playing with like how deep you can get into the guardrails. But yeah, man, it's so interesting, like how to use these. I mean, we're using it. I don't know how you guys are using it with the podcast, but like I'm asking it for like events. I'm asking it to like take data and just like organize it in a way. And it's so cool.
The coolest part about Lovable for me was like, I took a screenshot of a flyer for an event and I just liked the look of it. Dragged and dropped the JPG image. And it just like copied it exactly almost with my content. And it's just like, that kind of tool just literally didn't exist like a year ago. Like, it just didn't. So,
it didn't exist 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And like, I know with the AI revolution, it felt like maybe a year ago, it was like there was still conversation amongst people that were like skeptical of AI, like, oh, whatever, this is just some FOD. Now it seems like the conversation's really shifted to like, okay, now this is a thing, it's here to stay. How are we going to use it? Like, the AI skeptics are far and few in between now, which are what they were a year ago.
Yeah. The prompt engineering stuff too is literally becoming like an actual job for people. You can, create like a whole Google Doc of specific prompts that get past those guard walls, or just like perfectly prepare your chat instance for whatever you want it to do and save a ton of time. So like, say you had like a really specific workflow that you wanted it to do, like you don't want to waste time typing that out each time, giving it the instructions, everything. So you just create a perfectly engineered prompt. You got to kind of give it a few test runs until you get that perfectly engineered one, and then you just preface it and then give it the specific context for that situation, and you'll be able to have it do anything really quickly.
Yeah.
There's a like cool podcast. I was telling you about this episode at the Ramen Fest, actually, Ryan, but it's The Product Manager is the name of the podcast. So just The Product Manager. And then there's an episode from December, the AI productivity and prompt engineering hacks you'll need in 2025. And this guy, we were talking about Ryan back at the Ramen Festival. Like, he kind of was the one where I heard about like gossiping with it about your work stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like recalling stuff from like super far back, like your performance review 2 quarters ago, and you're just gossiping with it. And then it's like, oh, well, this would actually be a good time to improve upon these 3 points from your performance review 6 months ago. And you would never even think of that. But as long as you just keep gossiping.
It was that word. When you told me that, it's like, oh, you're gossiping.
Yeah.
Because what it does is like what my tendency is like to go to the prompts is trying to be like, I just want to get the prompt out as fast as I can for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to put too much stuff, I'm like, slowing me down. There's like, that's the feeling. And maybe that's just because it's a chat interface. I'm just like, I just want to get it out with shorthand.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I didn't want to use the like voice activated thing because, you know, you creating sound. But now I just like, no, tell it everything, tell it context, let it know. Is this the podcast you're talking about, Tom?
Yeah, that's it. And the episode that that idea came from is on December 11th. We'll throw the link to that specific episode in the description today.
Cool.
It really feels like in my lifetime, I feel like there's been three huge like technological events that really have really changed the world. Obviously, number one, the internet.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think number two, probably smartphones, in
Yeah.
terms of just changing the way people do everything every single day. And then the AI really feels like the next big shift to me. Like it's kind of like just the beginning.
It's gold rush.
Yeah, now it's about figuring out how to not have 15 damn subscriptions at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they got to figure this out because I'm getting drained over here. Like, you know.
Oh, I have two new ones. I got GPT and Lovable, you know.
I have both those. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, that's it, you know. And so I'm doing a lot of demos and it's going to have to beat those, you know, in order to get over there.
Mhm.
So, but you know, another feature, I mean, Gemini is amazing. I've been using Gemini to like help compose emails and it's awesome. Anthropic's really good, but GPT I really like. The deep research too is like so cool because like we're talking about prompt engineering is like you give it prompts into the deep research and then it asks you like clarifying questions and then it takes off for like 2 hours and thinks about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes back. So there was like this essay I've been working on forever about the pelt industry at the turn of the century. You know, basically the first American millionaire was a beaver pelt trader.
Wow.
And the way I came to find that out is that they needed all his beaver pelts because the hat industry was so enormous. So what happened was I wanted to get a black cowboy hat and I should have just bought a cheap one. But then I started learning about cowboy hats and you have different percentages of beaver felt. So if you get let's say you want to get 100% beaver felt cowboy hat, it's like $2,000. You know, and then you got to get it shaped. And the way you shape your hat says a little bit about who you are as a person. So there's all these decisions to be made. Anyway, I was down this deep rabbit hole about what kind of like black cowboy hat is right for me. And I'll never make a decision now because then I had to learn about this beaver salesman that made $1 million. Anyway, so I was working on like kind of like a fun essay about this whole scenario. And it was okay. And I was using GPT to like do revisions. And it's really good to say like, okay, make this essay sound like Chuck Palahniuk or like Tom Sawyer or like different authors, you know, Malcolm Gladwell. You could use it to give it different various tones and stuff. And then you can edit. But when you use deep research, you can say like, okay, this is what I want. I want an in-depth analysis about cowboy hat culture, what each kind of style means, you know, how it should shape to your face. Because if you got a round face, you want to get a different kind of style than if you have a long face. And I want it to be about the first American millionaire that was a beaver pelt tradesman. And what it delivered back was so sick. And it had all these footnotes and like all this like stuff. So you could go like check dates, check numbers. That's so cool. So it almost makes like telling your personal stories or what you're interested in into like interactive entertainment in a way, because then you get this cool thing, you know, and then I could be like, okay, now use this and make a monologue script so I could record a single camera video for YouTube and it'll like translate it into that.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
It's are
crazy.
It's so fun, you know? So yeah, I mean, like, you know, it really is like everything is vulnerable now, you know? It's like, what'll be interesting is however they end up using AI to create what's the new version of social media, because those are the big moats, is everything that has kind of the network effect. Because getting somebody off of Instagram or TikTok is going to be unbelievably difficult, you know, that so you have these mega businesses, but like, how are you going to get over there? How are you going to build the AI Amazon? You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough one too, because there's so much infrastructure behind it of actual logistics. But, you know,
Amazon.
I don't know, man. I think there's much smaller projects across the board that we kind of take for granted, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure these projects are being worked on right now behind the
Oh,
scenes,
yeah,
right
Mm-hmm.
now as we speak.
I know. I'm always like hitting up my kids of like, how are you using AI? And they're like, we don't really. I'm like, dude, how are you using it? And there's like these tools where you just take a picture of like a math assignment and it just shows you how to work it and then how you want to write it on the paper. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
there we go.
I've
There we go.
I've seen videos of college kids with these like either Chrome extensions or like there might be desktop apps, but you just like when you're taking an online test, they're just like highlighting the area of the question and it's just instantly being like the answer's B, the answer's A, C, blah blah.
I'd love to see, I haven't seen any data on this. I'd love to see like if there's been a downward trend in the use of just like the Google search engine since ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Have to imagine. So like I don't I used to Google everything, now it's just ChatGPT everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Me too. And I'm sure it's like measurable, but it's probably, you know, globally just so small. But, you
It's
know,
so
we're talking
easy.
about significant chunks of revenue, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just gives much better insight. And like, yeah, I do like the AI responses generated in Google search, like that pops up right at the top whenever you ask it something. But sometimes those aren't too reliable because they really
Agree.
depend super heavily on like other search results. I think that it just has less of like a knowledge than if you were to actually ask like a LLM or something.
Would you
Yeah, it's not as good, you know,
It's not.
but it's like where are you going to place your bets? Because, you know, Sam Altman is going to have to keep raising money, and we're talking about hundreds of billions to stay ahead of this thing.
Mhm.
DeepSeek has already shown that you can basically go in and scrape OpenAI's data, and you don't have to do all the language training yourself. So Google is in a position where they're like, I mean, they have so much cash. Well, and I mean, for that matter, Facebook. You know, like I was playing with Meta AI and Grok a little bit because I'm like, I don't really do these too much, and they're amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
Facebook's is open sourced, I think. So you know, these big players that have all this cash, and that's where like OpenAI, I mean, I think their revenues were like 4 or 5 billion, but dude, they're burning like 20 billion. So it's like,
Wow.
how is that a business? They're gonna have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's quite a time to be alive, you know. And we've been talking about AI for years, but like it just had such a scary aura. But now I'm starting to just see completely the other side of it of like, boy, there is so much cool opportunity here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to do something fun, you know. And
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm really excited about too, is this, especially the vibe coding thing. It's fun, you know.
It's cool. It's cool.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to try Lovable after this.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be awesome. There's another one called VO. There's another one called Bolt, and there's this other one I'll send you to, and they're all kind of the same. Um, they look the same, act the same. It just comes down to I think preference on small things, but yeah, it's dope, man. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like it.
So
Nice.
I originally was going to use neocities.org, which is there's no AI involved, but it's only $5 a month. It's nothing. Whereas Lovable, I think, is 20 a month. But I went on Lovable, like started the free trial, and right when you start, you're like, okay, this,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah, they give you 20 credits and you burn through them. You're like, no, we can't be done. We can't be
Mm-hmm.
done.
And they know you can get a lot done in those 20 credits, so it's like your project's already almost halfway done, or like the concept's like there, at least. So they got it
Yeah.
set up.
So yeah, I mean, who's going to be the major player? Because the other thing you have is like I'm gonna ask. I got to find out like what kind of revenue Google's losing because there's a number, but you also think about like Facebook. Like Timu is like I think something like 10% or some insane number of their advertising revenue comes from Timu
For Facebook?
for Facebook,
Wow.
and maybe it's not 10, it might be like 4 or 5%, but it's an insane amount. And with these tariffs and like I don't know if like Timu's going to be delivering, or obviously they're not going to have the prices that they once had, and that might go for like all of the e-com. It's going to hit Amazon the same way, where prices are going to be unbelievable and people will stop spending on those sites, which they don't want to see that kind of decrease in revenues.
This
Um,
this may be a dumb question, and I might need to ask AI, but do tariffs at all apply to services, or do they need to be tangible goods, imported goods?
Tangible goods.
Yeah. So if I was to purchase like a marketing service from overseas, there wouldn't be tariffs on that.
Exactly. Yeah. So we can do business internationally and there's no tariffs on that. It's like, but there are like regulations where certain companies won't allow service. They won't provide services for certain countries. China's guilty of that.
Yeah.
And so like the goods tariffs becomes almost like punitive for doing policies like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've talked to two different companies now. Or I should say I know people that know people. So second removed, that have shipping containers sitting in port that they can't get goods out of because the tariffs are an extra $1 million. And the thing about e-commerce businesses is like, if it's a seasoned company, it's been around 10, 15 years, maybe, and they've got economies of scale and they control the manufacturing and like they're killing it. They might have 20% margins, when you factor, marketing expense and stuff. But the honest truth is like, dude, most e-commerce businesses have like restaurant margins, like 10 to 12% if they're killing it. Probably more than likely it's sitting in like 6 to 8%. So these are businesses that can sustain $1 million of cash tariff. Like, dude, what kind of business has $1 million in the bank? Almost zero. Especially e-commerce, especially when the order that's sitting in port was ordered 4 months ago.
Yeah, just can't leave the port now.
Yeah, they're like, dude, if it would have got here 2 weeks ago, like it would have been $1 million less. So not only can they not afford it, but if they figured out a way to like, okay, let's go get some credit or something like that to pay for the tariffs, well, are their customers going to stand by like a 40% increase? I don't know.
Gosh.
So yeah, so like all these things are gonna, and this might be the window Sam Altman needs, where he's like, oh, okay, maybe GPT can compete because these other companies, but I mean, it's inconsequential. They're doubling down on AI like no one's ever seen ever. I mean, they're creating literal nuclear reactors so that they can have the CPU for their and the GPU for their tools. So I can find a cool picture.
Insane.
So crazy.
Wow.
Nice. All right, man. Let's get to events and stuff. I do want to give a shout out. We were supposed to have a guest, but he got held up. We'll give him a shout out anyway, and we'll have him on again because I'm excited. Remember we were looking at? Man, you know what? I'll just slate it because I have to go find the restaurant. But we were talking about bringing a guy on who has this like new restaurant bar / kind of cool bed and breakfast that's going downtown Denver.
Mm-hmm.
We had Leon on, but he can't make it today, so we'll do it another time. But let's jump into events. Tom, what do you got on tap?
Let's go for it. I got a couple things here. Let me find my place. Where am I? Here we go. All right. Let's start off with this from our friends at Drink Denver. We got the Denver Mini Derby.
Let's go.
So this is a Kentucky Derby themed event. It's going to be Saturday, May 3rd, same day as the Derby, I believe. If not, I'm mistaken. Let's check that because I don't know if they're playing it during the thing.
Yeah, is it like during
May 2nd and 3rd. May 2nd and 3rd. So at the Denver Mini Derby, you are going to experience the ultimate Derby Day celebration with live mini horse races, corgi sprint, big screens, live music, open bar, VIP perks. So I know a lot of people take Derby Day super seriously. This is a place where you can dress up, watch the race on the big screen, get some delicious drinks, see some corgi races, mini horse races, and enjoy a nice open bar for one flat rate. So, I mean, that kind of ties it all together, I think.
Totally. Well, and it's a nice juxtaposition of Denver culture,
Of course.
which I've heard the style referred to as like Patagonia couture or Gorp core, which is my favorite. Gorp core. You know, so, you know, you get to dress up, you get to wear your hat, you know, the ladies get to look nice. they can go do a fun event where you don't need, you know, Arc'teryx and, you know, whatever else stuff we wear every day.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, again, you're getting mini horse races, corgi races, big screen to watch the event on. We have bottomless mint juleps, cocktails, and more. So I know the juleps are a big derby thing. They have some contests, best dress contests, some music, entertainment, other things going on. It's going to be at the Rhino Art Park, 1 to 6 p.m. And it's $95, I think. I mean, if we know anything from the Ramen Fest, we know that Drink Denver events are pretty fun. So
Yeah.
definitely worth checking out. I'm sure they're gonna have food trucks and other stuff there, but this is not an all you can eat festival. Still definitely a all you can drink festival. So check that out. We're gonna be also, hint hint, next week, I believe, probably doing a little ticket giveaway through socials as well. So be on the lookout for that. What else do we got here? 420 weekend. We have Mile High 420 Fest at Civic Center Park, which I'm surprised to find out that it is not free this year. It's usually free.
At Civic Center Park, they're charging?
Yeah.
Wow.
Limited availability, $25 general admission ticket. $175 for VIP.
Whoa.
Usually this is a free event. What's going on here?
They better have Wiz Khalifa or somebody who's performing.
That's the thing. There's like friggin' nobody that I care about, but main stage is gonna be Corday is the headliner. I don't know who that is. Sorry if I should, but
No, Bones, Thugs and Harmony, and Conway the Machine.
yeah,
Dude, nice.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, Conway the Machine, Cali, Nakel Smith, and Souls of Mischief, hosted by Tommy Chong. Like, maybe you just gotta pay big bucks for Tommy Chong to host your 420 festival.
Is he from Cheech and Chong? Yeah.
Yeah, but no Cheech.
Heck yeah.
Just a Chong.
And this has always been a free event.
Yeah, and the headliner is usually like Wiz Khalifa or like friggin' Lil Wayne or something.
Weird. That's crazy.
Who's Corday? All right.
Souls of Mischief is a cool addition. I love that. West Coast hip hop OGs. They did 93 till Infinity, right? Pretty sure.
Corday is
Newer artist.
new rapper.
I don't know the songs.
They usually
you
got like friggin' Method Man or like Wiz Khalifa, and it's always free. So I'm surprised.
Tommy Chong, I think he did like 5 years in the pokey for his son too. Like they came after him like really hard. The feds came after him. I think he was selling bongs online. It was like paraphernalia or stuff, Tommy Chong bongs and stuff.
What?
But it was like his son's business. But he dove on the grenade and actually did some real time for that. This is probably maybe 10, 15 years ago. Like Tommy Chong is a real one, dude. I love that guy.
Yeah. Well, shout out to
great.
Tommy Chong. That's what you get your money's worth for $25 at this year's Mile High 420 Fest. What else do I got? Catbird. This is a cool hotel up in the North Rhino area, kind of close to what street station is that up there? There's that light rail station over close by Mission Ballroom, but this is on the opposite side of that. So North Larimer, right before you go to the underpass there. But Catbird Hotel, it's a super cool place. They have this rooftop bar and recreation area, event space, and they are doing on Saturday, not Sunday, by the way. By the way, Easter Sunday, 420 combo this weekend.
Wow.
Saturday the 19th, we have a Catbird, Boozy, Bunny, Egg Hunt, and Brunch party.
Nice.
Boozy,
That's a
Egg
mouthful.
Hunt. Yeah. Boozy, Egg Hunt, Brunch. So you're going to get some brunch bites, beverages, grown-up egg hunt full of amazing prizes. So this is not a child-friendly egg hunt.
What's in the eggs? I'm curious.
That is the question, Troy. What
This is
in
classic
eggs?
millennial behavior. I want to go on an egg hunt. It's like they refuse to grow up.
It says featured partner prizes
Yeah.
include Deep Eddy vodka, Corvus coffee. So maybe some chocolates, some shooters, some.
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Oso, so maybe you'll be getting some like gift certificates, massage studio, Putt Shack, Yardbird, which is a nice restaurant, Stem Ciders, Copper Lounge, a night stay at the Catbird Hotel. It's a cool place for a staycation, by the way. If you look up their rooms, they're really cool. But
Yeah, it's super cool. It sounds like a really fun event. I honestly, like, if I go to a buddy's house, they're millennials, like their birthday party, I fully expect that there'll be like birthday hats and we're playing pin the tail on the donkey or something.
absolutely. It seems like a cool event. I mean, I've never had an adult themed egg hunt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull
Get
up
violent.
the Catbird Hotel so the people can see what the rooms are looking like here. They are super cool. Oh, this is the wrong one. Where the hell are we? I'll have to bring that up later. But check it out. Catbird is a cool place. I've been wanting to go there for a little staycation.
Yeah.
What else do I have? I have an event this weekend that I will be hosting. And not even this weekend, Thursday evening. We have an espresso martini disco happy hour hosted by yourself. Not yourself, hosted by yours truly. Hold on, I gotta restart this. Espresso martini disco happy hour hosted by yours truly, Toto. I'll be playing some disco music. So we're gonna be hanging out, listening to some disco music. We got espresso martini specials going on. And yeah, it's down at the Welton Room, which is like one of the most popular espresso martini bars in town. Definitely
What
worth
time?
checking out. 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to be in bed early and not sleeping because we're going to be caffeinated to all hell. They are very strongly caffeinated espresso martinis, I will say that. But yeah, so I'll be playing music from 6 to 9 p.m. and $10 espresso martinis from 8 to 10 p.m., which that doesn't sound like, a cheap drink, but these espresso martinis are usually like 18, 20 bucks even.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool. That sounds like a fun event, man.
yeah, come check it out. We're going to be hanging. It's not going to be like a crazy party atmosphere. They want me to play some disco music. It's a loungy type place. So just a nice little disco lounge, maybe get swaying a little bit and get some espresso martinis flowing.
Heck yeah, man.
I like the image too.
Did you like my AI generated?
Is that you? It looks like you, kind
Yeah, it's supposed to be me.
of. I like it.
I wish that I had more credits to kind of refine it a little further, but that's me there.
Dude, that's embarrassing. I do the same thing. Like I'll put a picture into GPT and I'll be like, yeah, refine the image. And then the next prompt is like, make it subtly more attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
What would you have refined if you could have refined something? Just
Well,
curious.
I might still do this, but I'm going to do a promo maybe tomorrow or Thursday, like where it's one of those videos where it's like, show the best espresso martini disco party in the world, and it shows that, and then I'm going to just cut to like the prompts just being like, more espresso martinis, more disco, more, until it's like some ethereal like universe of espresso martini disco parties. So that's my little promo plan for this week.
I like that.
But
I like
Love it.
I'm definitely gonna need some credits to pull that off because it's not easy. I think Mid Journey is good for those ones. I might try out Mid Journey.
The
Totally.
subscriptions are gonna rule our life soon, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, these AI subscriptions. You know what someone should make? Just like because a lot of these apps tie in ChatGPT or other LLM models. Maybe you could just get a master subscription over everything.
Be cool.
Similar to how like HBO, you get like stars and you get like what, or like Hulu, for example, you get ESPN with that. You get this, that, and the other thing. Who's going to start that for AI subscriptions? One monthly price, you get unlimited access to all the AIs.
Dude,
You guys watch Black Mirror at all?
yeah.
They just came out with an episode and they kind of make fun of the whole subscription based model and how it's just taking over everything. And like there's an episode where it's like you can get like brain implants to repair like brain tumors, and they're operated off a subscription based system that has like tiers, and the base tier like doesn't let you leave certain areas, and you can
Wow.
like upgrade to improve the abilities of your tumor. And it reminded me of like what these AI apps are doing to us right now.
There's new Black Mirror.
It just came out like last weekend. Yeah.
No
Wow.
way.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, check out the subscription. The one about subscriptions. It's pretty good.
Wasn't that Marx's kind of like criticism of capitalism, that essentially the late stage capitalism is you will own nothing and you will like it?
That's literally it. That's the motto. The ideology.
You'll own nothing. No one's going to own any real estate. It's all going to be subscription models.
You don't own your memories. You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some like red check in your field of vision, like, oh, you better upgrade your memory storage space, or we're gonna have to start letting go of some of your childhood memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's literally what the episode was. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, where it was like the base subscription, you had to sleep like 12 hours a day to give bandwidth back to their system.
Oh,
But
God.
upgraded, it would reduce your sleep to like 8 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
I guess we're gonna upgrade because we don't want to sleep 12 hours a day.
Dude, I am so stoked. I think some of those Black Mirror episodes is like my favorite TV I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really clever. The way they're written is very clever.
That is awesome. I need to catch up, actually. I think I'm a season or two behind on the Black Mirror.
So good.
All right, last thing real quick. We got a Red Rocks schedule. Boris Brejcha tonight. That's going to be cool. Dustin Lynch and Sister Hazel, tomorrow, Wednesday, April 16th. And then Thursday, I would love to hit this up. It's going to be super fun, funky time, but Polo and Pan. But we're going to be having disco espresso martinis, baby. We're not going to Polo and Pan. That's support from Sophia Cortesis and Kids Return. And then Friday, Sublime with some original members, Eric Wilson and Bud Goch. I don't know which members of Sublime those are, but I'm sure the band has evolved over the years.
I think they're touring with Brad's son now as singing lead, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because I know they had the guy Rome. Rome was singing and he was great. But I think it's like Bradley's kid and it looks just like him.
Cool. Well, some more original members than you would usually see with Sublime these days. Oops, I got sent to the bottom here. Sublime, that's going to be Friday. And then Saturday, Hippie Sabotage, 2 Feet, Cal Banks. Sunday, before you do 420 on the rocks, stop by for Easter Sunday service at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning for Easter sunrise service. And then stick around until 5 p.m. for Wiz Khalifa.
There's
Larry
Wiz.
June. Yeah, Wiz is here. He's always here. For your 420 on the rocks celebration. Larry June, Absol, Chevy Woods, and DJ Bonix. Hell yeah.
Nice, man.
Always a big 420 show at Red Rocks.
You got to have it. You got to have it. And respect to the stoners for ushering in the cannabis era, which has been largely positive. I think that's a pretty much proven to be true. Troy, why don't we should actually first, you mentioned your website, but you didn't shout it out. We got to shout out goodboytroy.com. I want people to be able to go there and check out your awesome stuff. But why don't you hit sports and then do like a highlight from the week?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, goodboytroy.com just made it live today. So if you want to go there and see some of the cool music projects I've worked on, check it out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Awesome.
quickly, some sports stuff. NBA playoffs officially start today. The play-in tournament is tonight, so tune into that. I will be watching the Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies, which tip off about 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And the quick look at the NBA title favorites. So right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder and Celtics are neck and neck favorites to win the NBA championship. Next, you have the Cavaliers, followed by the Lakers, Warriors, and the Nuggets in the sixth spot. So it's pretty interesting. They're giving the obviously well-deserving chalk to the Thunder and the Celtics, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It'll be interesting because these teams with these experienced veterans, the Lakers, Warriors, Nuggets. I mean, Jokic is the best player in the world. You can't count these guys out down the stretch. So
Yeah. Golden State, the way they're playing with Jimmy Butler, watch out.
yeah, so we'll see how this shakes out. But I will be tuned in. And yeah, that's what we got on tap for sports. NBA playoffs are in full swing. I think the first official playoff round starts Saturday. I think that the next 2 or 3 days are the play-in tournament. So the first round of NBA playoffs round one starts Saturday.
Yeah.
And quick highlight from last week. I think just lovable, honestly. Spent some hours on
Nice.
that this weekend. We kind of already went into it, but yeah, it's always exciting when you find a really cool new tool. And this is one of the ones that was like instantly when you use it, you're like, okay, this is something right of significance here. This isn't like I need this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tools you test out and you play with a little bit, and it's like this is cool, but I'm not rushing to sign up and put in my card information. Whereas this one was like, I'm paying it. This is awesome.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Nice. Tom, how about you? What was your highlight last week?
I will give the highlight to the bus to show on Friday evening. I took the bus to show down to Red Rocks. This specific one left from the Bierstadt Lager House in Rhino. But if you go on there, they have different pickup locations for every Red Rock show. And it's just a really cool, like, easy way to get to Red Rocks. I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks a person, but you're getting there dropped off at the very top before the show starts, and you're getting taken right back after the show. No questions asked, no problems. For 30 bucks. I mean, if you're planning on, partaking, like doing some drinking or whatever else at the show, this is a perfect way to do that and not have to worry about, one, paying for Ubers, two, even getting an Uber in the first place, which is absolutely terrible after a concert, and three, you don't have to drive yourself, worry about parking, worry about walking up. You only walk down if you do this because they drop you right at the top circle, and then you walk down to get your pickup. So it's a very, very convenient and pretty budget-friendly option. And you're always going to meet some cool people. So check out the bus to show. There's a few different providers. I'm sure you'll be able to find whichever one you resonate with most, but that's got to be my highlight.
Heck yeah, man. Nice. My highlight, I went to another one of Danny Newman's meetups, which was great. I didn't fanboy out on him too hard. I was just like, hey, man, I looked up who you are. You're a hero to me. You're always doing cool stuff. So that was cool.
Nice.
But there was probably about 20 of us there, and really exciting. People were demoing the tools that they've been making with Lovable and Bolt. And this one guy, Ken, had made this unbelievably cool, like PNG vectorizer, like, but he themed the whole thing to look like Street Fighter, like that kind of old school 16-bit graphics.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. So that was really cool, you know, and it's really encouraging too, because there's a lot of senior developers that are there. There are kind of more designers like me. There's entrepreneurs. There's people that are just curious, you know. So what's so interesting about the whole AI thing is that it truly is like nobody knows what to do with it. It's just like, oh my gosh, what can you do with Lovable? And everyone has like feedback, like, hey, try this. I tried that. This is how I got this to happen. So it's just it's really kind of a cool creative group. So I was stoked for that. And I'm ultimately super stoked because it's at Danny's Coffee Shop, which is right at Raleigh and Colfax, which is like 5 blocks from my house. So that's cool. All right, we got to end it. I got another 2 p.m. call. But fun episode, guys. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, great
Awesome.
episode.
Thank
Great
you
chat.
guys.
Tom tipped us off to next week. We're going to probably do a giveaway for the mini derby. So definitely sign up at realgooddenver.com for the email list, which people still continually flow in, and we're appreciative of them, and keep posted on the socials and on the podcast. Thanks, guys.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Thanks, guys. Talk next week.
All right.
See ya.
All right, buddy.
Bye.